What is going on, guys? Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're gonna be taking a look at how you can process HDR pictures in car photography and how to make the cars pop. This is a part 2 in the series that I've made. I've already made a part 1. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to check that video out. But for now, without further ado, let's get started. I have 3 pictures right here. As you can see, one of them is overexposed, one of them is kind of correctly exposed, and one of them is underexposed. In HDR photography, what you want to do is you want to expose for your shadows, your midtones, your highlights, and then you combine them all together into one picture. Now, the key to a good HDR picture is taking it off of a tripod and making sure that your image is not moving. So what I did was I exposed first picture for the sky, the second picture for the trees and the house, aka the midtones, and the third picture for the shadows, which is the car in this picture. So now that you've taken your pictures, we're gonna select all of them by clicking Ctrl+A, then right click, go to photo merge and click on HDR. Now it's gonna create an HDR preview, and once that is done, you're just gonna click on merge, and then it's gonna add it to the tasks. Says right here creating HDR picture, then it's gonna add the final HDR picture onto your taskbar. Okay, so let's have a look at the picture. As you can see, the sky is exposed as well as the car. You can see everything in the frame. And if you go to the basic tools right here, you can see that Lightroom already pre-edits most of the stuff in your picture. So for now, this looks way better than the first 3 pictures, but we're gonna edit further upon this. I'm gonna increase the clarity, and actually I'm just gonna bring the exposure back to the way it was, and maybe add some more contrast just a little bit, and reduce the shadows a bit because I want the car to be like kind of that deep black vibe going on. And if you look close here, right here, we can see some deghosting. This is because there was some wind, and if we look back at our pictures, the tree isn't in the exact same position, so there is some deghosting. Now we can easily fix that by going here to the spot removal tool and just drawing over, and then it's gonna replace it with the sky. And if we zoom out, you're not gonna notice anything. To edit this car, I'm gonna take a radial filter and draw it around this car. This seems about right, and I'm gonna reduce the exposure. This is if we click on invert, we're editing what's inside our radial filter. But if we deselect invert, we're editing what is outside of our radial filter. And for this picture, I'm gonna reduce the exposure a little bit, and I'm gonna keep draw all the attention to the car. Alright, so another thing I like to do is to reduce the clarity, which is gonna soften the whole image, not by much, by about 40 or maybe 35. And then we can even maybe, I'm gonna reduce the sharpness and reduce the saturation just a little bit to kind of make the car pop more. Then we're gonna add some dehazing actually to this picture, and maybe perhaps actually increase the exposure just a little bit. And I'm gonna add another radial filter, position it around the car, same as that one, and this time we're gonna click on invert, so we're editing inside on the car itself. So I like to have a cooler tint on my car, so I'm gonna reduce the temp by 5 and maybe increase the exposure just by a touch, and drag some shadows. Just actually, it seems like too much. Yeah, this seems about right. And we're gonna add some more clarity and pop the saturation a bit more. This seems great so far. Now we're gonna go down to the details. I'm gonna add some noise reduction so that the car looks softer and cleaner. Yeah, this looks incredible. Okay, and we're gonna add some slight vignetting to the image. This seems about right. And so far so good. Maybe increase the white balance because I shot this as sunset. And now one last adjustment that I'd like to do is to kind of make this light pop more. So I'm gonna click on the adjustment brush and click O to see where we're editing, and just add a mask around the car light. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the exposure a bit, actually maybe even more by 1 step, and and reduce the temperature. And we're gonna add a lot of clarity to this, a lot of dehazing, maybe just a bit of dehazing, and some saturation. So now we have this thing. The car headlight is popping a lot. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments below if or what would you like me to do for part 3. I've already done part 1 for the car details and part 2 for the HDR, and let me know what you want and maybe I'll make it for part 3 for this series. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button down below, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.